Hey everybody, it's Corey with T-Top Speed Shop. I'm just going to go over with you guys my 6-liter build and how you guys can do what I'm about to do for the cheapest amount of money possible. So as you can see here, I purchased a 2010 Express van. It had 215,000 miles on it with a bad transmission. It also showed no oil pressure on the gauge because the sensor was bad. The guy was asking $1,000 for it. I got him to sell it to me for $900. The first day that I started parting the van out, I sold the front bumper, the fender, the hood, and the hitch off of it. So I had to pull the ad down because I wasn't ready to have the van completely disassembled. I hadn't swapped the cam and everything into the engine. So as you can see, and then I also took the cats off, got $120 for that. The van had pretty decent tires on it, got $150 for all 4 wheels and tires. The grill assembly, $75. I figure once I'm done parting out what I'm parting out, the junkyard will give me probably about $150, leaving me with a total for the engine, transmission, harness, and computer for $35. This is a high amount because right now the doors aren't factored into this. Doors are selling for about $150 a piece. The rear end's not factored into this. You can easily get $250, $300 for a rear end. This van also had brand new calipers and brakes up front for both sides. It looks like probably within the last 6 months they did a complete front end brake rebuild. So I'm planning on holding on to the van and parting it out and getting a lot more money in parts off of this than what I have here. But you could easily sell $800 worth of parts off a van within, I'd say, 2 weeks in most markets. Unless you live in the middle of BFE, if you live in any metro, I live in Omaha, Nebraska, there's only like 400,000 people here, between here and Council Bluffs. You could easily have less than that into it. So you're starting with a very inexpensive base. So factoring in $35, I'm going to put all of that cost into the engine because the transmission rebuild kit was so much money. So this L96 engine was a variable valve timing engine with a single bolt cam. I converted that to a 3-bolt cam, so I had to put a new timing cover on it, as well as a cam sprocket and a new timing cam sensor. So that total here, you look like what I have, $85 for the cover, $55 for the sprocket. The harness and computer, I have $45. That's just simplifying the wiring harness. I will go on to lt1shop.com and or lt1swap.com, and they have all the pinouts for everything LS. Sorry about that, guys. Then we have the Sloppy Stage 2 cam on sale about every other month for $239.99. Pack 1218 valve springs, $140. I replaced the rear main seal because it was bad. That was $25 on Rock Auto. I also at the same time got the spark plugs and the valve covers. So for $15 for all 8 spark plugs and the valve cover, $15. Pretty cheap. I also got a manual oil gauge with the M16 adapter. So I'm just going to do manual oil pressure instead of buying a $60 oil pressure sensor to feed the computer. And then I have our wideband and HP tuner. So I bought HP tuners in MVP2, and then a AM pass-through wideband. Since this van is a 2010, it has CAN bus, and I can log my wideband in the HP tuners. Also here, if you don't want to do a turbo, you can buy eBay long tube headers. They're actually on sale right now for $117.99. But I put $200 on here because when I was pricing this up, that's about what they were running. The ones for $117.99 have EGR tubes on them, which I'm sure you could block off for pretty much free. And then engine or LS swap mounts. I'm going to probably weld up my own mounts. So but if you didn't want to weld them up, you just wanted to buy mounts, you could easily find them. I looked all over the internet. $145 is probably on the high side. So you're at $1,928.85 for a L96 6-liter that will have about 500 horsepower at the crank. And that is factoring in a wideband and HP tuner. the 2 credits for your computer is only $100 of that. So I could take off, what's that, almost $300. So you'd be at $1,600 if you already had HV tuner and a wideband, because that's transferable amongst vehicles. So either way, $1,900 or $1,600, both cheap. Now we'll go over the transmission build. The 6L80 and 6L90 transmissions are a little bit more expensive. I got a high-performance rebuild kit off of eBay. Comes with the Alto Red clutch packs and steels, a Transgo shift kit, line pressure booster from Sonex. Also, it comes with the Sonex 456 apply piston upgrade. So that was $935. It did not come with a bushing kit. The bushing kit was $54. And then on my transmission, if you guys watch my rebuild video, the 1, 2, 3, 4 housing was bad. That's $275. So that's how it got out of hand. That extra $275 really stung. I got a Circle D 278 torque converter. I think it was a 2800 stall. That 278 converter is by far like the cheapest kind of performance one you can get. You can buy like really beefy ones. If you're going to put a bunch of power to it, you may want to spend the extra money. But if you're just going to do an all motor, this should hold. You're at $599 for that. I got a trans cross member from Speedway Motors in Lincoln, Nebraska, because I live in Omaha. I get a lot of stuff from them because they ship stuff to me, and I'll have it like the next morning if I pay for regular shipping. So that's kind of nice. I have to shorten the drive shaft. That's going to be about $375. And then TIG welding. I TIG welded the housings. If you guys watched the video, my buddy came out with his TIG welder. It took all of 10 minutes to weld the 2 housings. They're all steel. It wasn't aluminum. So, if you're in the race community, you should be able to find somebody with a TIG welder that can do some mild steel. $60, they'd probably jump with a chance. Trans fluid, cheapest place I could find it. Walmart has trans fluid, $17.50 a gallon of full synthetic. It's like Dex 6. It works for a lot of stuff. So 3 gallons of that, $72. And then $120 for a trans cooler because I just spent $2,000 rebuilding this thing, or $2,500. I might as well spend $120 to try to keep it cold. So all told, you're looking for a 500 horsepower, 6-speed, $4,500. That's pretty cheap if you consider if you want to go try to buy a regular rebuilt 6L80, you're $4,500 just for a stock rebuilt 6L80 or 6L90 transmission. So pretty economical for what you're getting there. I'm sure if you wanted a 600 or a 500 horsepower engine hooked onto this, you're spending probably 10, 12 grand, 15 grand, no problem. So pretty cheap. That's factoring in not making much money selling the van, or this could be even cheaper. You could probably get it down to, if you really wanted to part everything out and you had the time and the space, you could probably get it down to $4 grand. If you didn't need the 1, 2, 3, 4 housing, you could maybe get it down to $3,800. But that is honestly pretty cheap when you consider what you get there. Next, I'm going to go into what you're going to do, or what I'm going to do, and the cost of turboing it. So bear with me here. So most of this information, if you guys watch any of the Sloppy Mechanics stuff or visit their site, a lot of this stuff I just looked on there. I'm going to do my own log manifold. So I bought 2 2.5-inch U-bends for the exhaust. That was $52.36 shipped from Speedway again. I got a T4 flange off Amazon for $26. A flex coupling from AutoZone so that my pipes don't crack. And then 2 2.5-inch V-bands for $36.50 off Amazon. I'm going to leave the injectors blank. That's because if you're running a 5.3 or 4.8, you can just decap your injectors. That's free. I will probably end up buying injectors because this is probably going to be in the mid-800s for a build, so I'm probably going to run out of injectors. I'm going to try without it, see how much power I can get first, and then go from there. So what I have here for $555, that is an On3 7875 turbo with the V-band for the exhaust exit and the oil flanges, and then the intercooler piping kits. You can get them cheaper than that, but $100 all day long, whether you want black or chrome or aluminum, where it is. You can find those. Intercoolers, $98. 50 mil wastegate is $85. Turbo feed and return lines for the oil, $44 for the kit on eBay. A blow-off valve, $55. Exhaust strap, $50. The blow-off valve tube that's pre-welded. This is like a 3-inch tube for your intercooler piping that already has the blow-off valve. I think it's a 44 millimeter V-band already welded on it, because those pipes are aluminum, and anytime people want to weld aluminum, as Jason Sudeikis used to say, they want to bend you over a barrel and show you the 50 states. So that's what most people that are welding aluminum want to do. You're not going to get anything welded aluminum for $24, so just buy it. I got a 3-inch exhaust U for the downpipe, and then some miscellaneous fittings for the build, $60, and then a 3-inch piece of straight pipe to finish out the downpipe. So I'm at $1262.18. So if my stock engine has 500 horsepower, I run 10 pounds of boost, and the fact that I hope I don't run out of injector, that's about 340 horsepower for $1,200. That's dirt cheap. If I add, one second here, I'll add what the injectors would cost. And voila. So $400 for some injectors, $420. I'm at $1,682. And that, my friends, is as cheap as it's going to get for an 800 horsepower, 6-speed swap here. So I'm under $7,000. The only other thing that I don't have on here is a fuel pump, but everybody knows Walboro makes pumps for basically nothing. They're like $100, $110. Fuel lines, I'm going to use a lot of the fuel lines off the van, but I have up here for the part of the build too, $115. It's kind of a fuel system build. Speedway sells a tank for the A bodies for $700. Comes with the tank, the pump, the sending unit for $700. That's cheap. So not a bad price tag if you really think about it. I know if you're on a budget, this seems like it's expensive, but for anybody that wants to play in that realm, if you want to LS swap a car with a 6-speed, a lot of times you can go with the 4L80E and save yourself some money, get it cheaper if you want to, but doing a 6-speed really is what drove the price up on this. And like I said, we could part out more stuff for the van if we wanted to. So guys, I want to thank you for watching. Check out my channel. I have a couple rebuild videos on that transmission on there. I'm going to come to you guys when I start swapping this engine over onto the Monte Carlo, and hopefully come to you guys with some smoky burnout videos. Thanks for watching, and as always, T-tops off.